Nice, standing like a mountain posture. Feet flat on the floor, ankles soft, knees soft, so they're off the lock. It's like not straight, not bent, just off the lock. The pelvis is tucked under, so you're drawing it up at the front and dropping it down at the back. Spine is rising up the sky as if drawn up by a golden thread, and head is just resting on top of the spine, nice and relaxed. And then just lifting and dropping your shoulders down your back so there's space under the armpits. Standing like a mountain. So you stay there, I'll just come forward and show you. We're going to be doing this dough in, which you need a really floppy wrist for. So just check both wrists can be really floppy and not held like this. So just support one arm on the elbow and let the other wrist be floppy, and then just quite hard massaging the side of the neck and the top of the shoulder. Then taking your arm out in front with your back of your hands facing the sky, coming down the top of the arm. Palm facing the sky. Thumb facing the sky, coming back down.
Charlotte, have you got your hand closed? The one that's doing...
Yeah, it's kind of a fist. Yeah, fist like that, yeah. For the moment, yeah. Then little finger into armpit. Just let your arms fly free. And we'll do the same the other side. So soft fist, supporting the elbow, just massaging side of the neck and top of the shoulder. Then coming down the top of the arm, palm facing the ceiling, thumb facing the ceiling, little finger, and into your armpit. Oh, letting those go free. So we're going to use palms of the hands this time and get starting with the legs. So we're going to start with this sort of hip flexor here to get a nice empty slap sound. And then going down the front of the legs. Tops of the feet, back of the ankles, and up the back of the legs. Into the buttocks. Sides of the hips. And down the sides of the legs. Ankles and inside ankles, and then up the inside of the legs. Active foot flexors. Okay. Chest. Again, back to sort of soft fists. Across the chest. This might make you cough. It's all okay. And then we're going to do this big, soft squishiness. We've got all the internal organs. We've got the intestines and stomach and liver and spleen and pancreas and diaphragm and everything. Just give it all a bit of love, a bit of attention. And bearing in mind that the digestive system on the whole is moving sort of up your right hand side, across the top and down the left. So just finishing off with that direction. You can do all kinds of things massaging all around, but just ending with that sort of nice, encouraging the colon to do its bit at the end. Okay, back to this sort of soft fist, but we're going to use this part of the hand now, the thumb and index finger, taking it to the kidneys and lower back, as far up as you can get, down to the lower back, and just in the sides of the body as well, which we've kind of missed out a little bit there. There we go, just resting and relaxing. Okay, and then on to raindrop fingers and to the back of the neck and the scalp. So all over the back of the neck and all over the scalp, raindrop fingers. Moving on to the forehead, the jaw joint and the jaw to chin, upper lip, cheekbones and cheeks. Just with your index finger, make a nose drum. And then index finger and thumb, we're going to grab a wodge of eyebrow, starting from the inside bit of your eyebrow. Grab and squeeze, and then gradually move out all the way around the eyebrows. And then very, very gently, we're going to explore the edge of the eye socket. So it's just a gentle eye massage. So you're not touching the eyeball, you're just exploring where the edge of your eye socket is, and just very, very gently pressing with your thumb or with a finger all the way around the edge and then along the bottom edge of the eye socket. Then give your face a bit of a wash. And then back to index finger and thumb, starting at the top outside edge of the ear. Again, grab and squeeze, and then moving all the way around the outside edge of the ear. You might find some spots that are a little bit painful. You don't have to inflict pain, you can just be quite gentle, but if you can pull and squeeze, lovely. Then if you're not wearing earrings, you can pull down on your earlobes and then let your finger and thumb slide off the bottom. Do that 3 times. Okay. So let's have, what we'll do is we'll run through the sequence as we did last week, just the beginning and end of the sequence. We'll have a bit of a shakeout after we've done that. I'll introduce you to a natural step, which is one of the key, as well as the sort of standing parallel step, it's the other main key Tai Chi step. And I'll teach you the micro form, which is Tai Chi in one move, which is right in the middle of this sequence. And so we'll do a little bit of play around this natural step and get a sense of that. And then we'll run through the whole sequence. So because we're not doing the seated this time, because there's a bit of teaching, if you feel like you need to sit down at any time, just do that. Don't wait for me to say, okay, it's now time to sit down. So just have your chair ready so you can sit down whenever you feel like it, especially if you're still feeling a bit weak from not feeling well or whatever reason, you just might want to sit down. Okay, so we'll run through the moves as we did last week. I'll call out we'll do it as a sort of meditation, so I'll just be calling out the names of the moves. If you have completely forgotten it, that's great. We're just playing. Don't worry about it. Okay, I need to make sure I'm standing where you can see the whole of me. Good. And I'm not going to hit the light. Good. I think I'm just about okay. Okay, so standing like a mountain. Breathing on the earth. Having a really strong sense of the breathing body moving, playing with the breath. And a sense of rocking backwards into the heels and forwards into the balls of the feet as you breathe. And back as you breathe in and forwards as you breathe out. And then beginning, so allowing the arms to just float up on the in-breath. And then float down on the out-breath. On the next in-breath, keeping the hands up and turning the palms towards the heart, and on the out-breath, opening the chest. Shoulders relaxed, elbows relaxed. Next time your hands are out at the side, just turning the palms to the ceiling, move into painting a rainbow. Next time you're in the middle, just allowing yourself to just fold forwards, crossing the hands, palms, and then parting the clouds, pushing from the earth and breathing in and out. This last one, just allowing the hands to come to the hips, palms facing the ceiling, and moving into swinging arms. Breathing in and out. So last one, moving into rowing a boat. So letting the arms swing backwards, coming up to the 90-degree angle, as if you're about to sit in a chair, letting the arms swing through. Just coming back up, tucking the thumbs under, palms facing the ceiling again, fist moving into punching. Squeeze, little squeeze at the end in both hands. So just as you come to the soft limit, just squeeze and release and come back. And out, squeeze both hands, squeeze both thumbs, release. And I find it best to be breathing out as your hand is going out. So breathing out, that's the end of the breath. Squeeze, then breathe in. Moving into flying wild goose. Breathing in, relaxing, sitting, sinking down into the earth. Expanding out to the sides and pressing down. Moving into spinning wheels, so a gentle turn. Weight moves into the leg in the direction you're facing. Bringing the hands over, coming back to center, shifting the weight. 70%, 30% in each leg as you move through. 70% of your weight is in the leg that you're facing. Then it comes back to 50 and shifts 70, 30 to the other side. Next time you're at the bottom, just pausing and then heading back the other way. Next time you're at the bottom, pausing and rolling up. Making that shift of weight go to the full 100%. If you can, bouncing balls with step. If it makes you wobbly, just keep your other foot still just touching the floor. Gently breathing in as you lift the leg and out as you replace it on the ground. Then coming back to standing like a mountain, checking in with your ankles, knees, pelvis, the spine, crown of the head, and the shoulders and arms. Pressing palms in calmness, so allowing the arms to float up on the in-breath, come in towards the heart, and gently press everything, the whole practice, down into the earth. Breathing in and out. Standing like a mountain, resting, breathing. Okay, can I just check if anyone's got any questions about any of those moves before we move on? Shakes of head from Jane, shakes of head from Debbie. Okay, great. So what I'll show you now is this natural step, which is, it's one of the key Tai Chi moves that kind of provides stability, and especially if you're practicing it as a martial application, but it's also a really nice step to just use for oneself and just practice, because it gives you that really nice, wide, balanced base. So if you're in a room where you've got corners, it's kind of easier. Otherwise, you need to know what 45 degrees are. So you're turning one foot, doesn't matter which one it is, one foot out, 45-degree angle, so as if to a corner of a room. Have a look at where the toe, your longest toe, your big toe, is on the other foot. So mine's just on a line on these tiles on the kitchen floor. So I'm going to put the heel of this foot just in front of where my toe is now and keep it facing that way. Just doing that. So you've got the front foot is still facing forwards and the back foot is facing to a corner. And you can sit down in the midst of these. I'm just going to tuck my skirt in a little bit so you can see my knees. So you can sit down here. You've got a bit more movement now, so you can move forwards and backwards. Just check that your knees are safe, that your front knee isn't coming so far forward that you can no longer see your toes. You must be able to see your toes. I can actually see the whole of the ball of my feet as well. And then in the back, that your knee goes directly over there as well, but you can still see your toes there. So just have a check that that's happening when you're moving forwards and back. Might need a bit of proprioception practice. You might have knees that aren't quite going in those directions. Okay, so that's one move. You can just go forwards and back. That's nice and easy. You can also do what is the real key Tai Chi move, which is a yield. And a yield means that, say somebody was coming in to touch this shoulder, might be a friend, might be coming to touch me. I don't want to kind of go, oh yeah, push forward. In Tai Chi, you just yield and you just let them move through. And that means in this position, I can sort of sit a bit more down in my hips and turn, let them through. So if you imagine they're coming in this way, come. I sit down and then they move through that way. Some kind of circular movement that way. So my pelvis, if I just put my hips where they are, starting forward, then I'm turning and coming back like that. You see that? Yeah. You can also do a closed one. We don't need that for this sequence, but it's interesting to do. If somebody was coming and touching this shoulder, you can also sink and sort of turn that way a little bit, but it's a bit more of a squish. You can just sort of play with that, sort of sitting down that way as well. That's the turning. Okay, let's try that with the other feet, just to get a sense of what it feels like on both sides. So whichever foot you had in front in a swap. So turning the back foot 45 degrees to the corner, and then placing the heel in front of the toe and the other foot, and then sitting down. Nice wide stance. Just check your knees again. Check when you move forwards and back. Your knees are over the toes, but not going over the toes, but in the same direction of the toes. And then just have a little play of that moving from front to facing the same direction as that knee. So you can sort of move forwards and back. And then just try the closed side on this side, which is kind of like, oh, what does that feel like if I sort of move back into that back foot, but turning that way? Just get a sense of that. Great. Just have a sip of water. Is that okay, Debbie? Is that all right? Makes sense? Good. Okay. So what I'm going to show you is the micro form, which has all the three main principles of Tai Chi in it. So if you can do this micro form move, this is you doing Tai Chi. Don't need to learn anything else. So taking that same posture, so turning one foot out 45 degrees and placing the other one in front. We're literally the move is literally as we just did it. So the first principle of Tai Chi is this sense of rooting. This is this sense of literally rooting down into the earth through these feet and through this kind of stable posture. And you can stay rooted as you move. You can really feel the sense of the sensations in the bottom of the feet in contact with the earth. That is the sense of rooting. And you can go as deep as you like with that, imaginatively. Imagine yourself as a tree, a young tree, not an old oak tree that hasn't got the movement in the trunk, but a young tree with beautiful, vibrant roots down into the earth that's helping you sort of stay in that stable position. Okay, so what we're going to do is, so the opposite hand to the leg that's in front is going to be starting off palm outwards. And then as you move into that back foot and turn the pelvis to face that corner, it just moves back. It's the same movement as that swinging arms movement. It comes back to palm at your hip and then comes forward. So we've done this move. It's that sort of nice stroking around that quarter tube, or just a little upside down rainbow move. It's very, very simple. So when you're back, your arms back, and when you're forward, your arms forward. That's very simple, that one. And what's actually happening with your arm is the second principle of Tai Chi. It's called sticking. And again, we have to imagine this, but imagining somebody's coming towards us still to touch this shoulder. We're just sticking to their whole arm and just going, oh, hello, welcome into my space. And then somebody else, welcome. So that's sticking. And the yielding, the third principle, is this movement around the spine. So you've got rooting, sticking with the arm, and the yielding, the movement around the spine. Okay, so that's one hand movement, and the other hand is doing the opposite. So starting palm up at the other hip. Your weight is in your front foot. And as you move back, that does a little coming out, turning palm out, and then it comes forward. So don't worry if you don't get this the first time, just have a play with it. It's a bit like you're holding a massive beach ball between your forearms and you're just rolling it around as you do that movement. Okay, let's move into the other feet. Just give your legs a shake out. Don't stay too long in one posture. So turning the other foot 45 degrees, placing the heel just in front of where the toe is, relaxing down. Getting a sense of that moving, so you're moving your pelvis, your hips are facing forwards, when your weight is forwards. When you come back, they're facing the corner. They're facing that same direction as your toe and your knee. So it's quite a small move. It turns as you push from foot to foot, also turning that pelvis a little bit. So you're rooted down into the earth and then yielding around the spine. Then we'll come to the arm again. So if you bring your weight forward into the front foot, the opposite hand is up, palm out. And it's going to do that same move that you do with the swinging arms. It's going to come to your hip. As you push back, comes back to your hip and rests there and then comes forward again. And the other hand, bringing the other hand in. This starts palm up at the hip, and then just swap places. Palm facing outwards, palm facing outwards. So they're both ending up with the same posture, same position. This is called the micro form. Okay, I'm just going to run you through. There's a few moves that have this natural step. Just shake out your feet as well, my ankles and feet. When we run through the moves, we'll just keep moving in and out of this natural step, swapping feet and everything. So it's just getting used to what that feels like, nice and wide, nice and open. So we have the micro form, and we have scooping sea to view the sky, which is exactly the same as parting the clouds, but just with this movement backwards and forwards. So it's just the backwards and forwards move now rather than to the side. Crossing the hands in front of the foot, so just mind the light. Pushing from the front foot into the back foot. Opening up. Scooping the sea to view the sky. You can feel it's a much bigger move than we do with parting the clouds. Just try it with the other foot if you need to practice getting your feet into position. Push from the front foot into the back. Okay, changing the feet again. So then this next one starts in the back foot with your palms facing outwards, but closer to your heart. So you're gonna, it's called pushing waves. So you move from back foot to front foot. Again, the hips are staying facing the front for the whole thing. Pushing waves, bit like doing the breaststroke, but a lot gentler, and you're playing with the air, pushing waves. Just try that with the other foot as well. Starting with the back foot, pushing to the front foot. And then changing feet again. The final of these kind of natural step moves is called dove spreads wings, which is very similar to the opening the chest at the beginning. Starting in the back foot, palms at the heart, quite close into the heart. Pushing, dove spreads wings. It's much bigger, again, much bigger movement in opening the chest. Getting a sense of moving and shifting the weight from foot to foot. And then we'll try that the other side. Okay. Any questions on natural step? Otherwise, we'll run through the whole sequence to finish. And if you need to, yeah, have a shake again, have a shake, give your ankles a good old shake and your legs a good old shake. Doesn't look like there's any questions. So we'll have a play. So when we've done this, it just means we've just got 1, 2, 3 moves left to learn next week. And then we'll just be running through the whole sequence as it is. So in this coming week, just have a play with these. But yeah, we're nearly there with sort of all it's going to be. You'll get much more of a sense this time of the flow of the moves as well as we move through. So standing like a mountain, breathing on the earth. Beginning. Opening the chest. Painting a rainbow. Parting the clouds. Swinging arms. Rowing a boat. Micro form. Moving into natural step. Bringing the weight into the front foot to start, and then pushing into the back foot, into the front foot. Changing feet. Coming back, resting in the front foot. Shifting into the back foot. Changing feet again. Coming to the front foot, moving into scooping the sea to view the sky. Shifting weight into the other foot. Scooping the sea to view the sky. Shifting feet. Keeping the weight in the back foot this time. Pushing waves. Pushing back to front foot. As you come forward, bringing the other foot with you, swapping feet. Going into back foot and then pushing. Bringing the other foot forwards, taking the other foot back. Coming to the back foot for dove spreads wings. If your arms are starting to ache, just changing feet. If your arms are starting to ache, lower the elbows, lower the shoulders, lower the arms. One more. Then shifting back to parallel and into punching. Breathing out, little squeeze at the end. Flying wild goose. Spinning wheels. Next time you're at the bottom, pausing, heading back the other way. Next time you're at the bottom, just pausing, rolling up into bouncing balls with step. Coming back to standing and easing into pressing palms in calmness. Breathing in, drawing in, and letting go. Standing like a mountain, breathing on the earth, connected to the earth and the sky.